The county of Honolulu operates 5 botanical gardens on the island of Oahu. These gardens are Foster, Liliuokalani, Hoomaluheia, Wahiawa, and Koko Crater. Indeed, when I was researching this topic, I counted at least 18 botanical gardens just on the island of Oahu. I made an effort to go to as many as I could over the past year, visiting 13 of these gardens, which I plan to present over a period of several weeks. I was not able to visit Senator Fong Gardens, as they closed during COVID and have not reopened as of late 2024, except for special groups. Located on the outskirts of downtown Honolulu, Foster Botanical Gardens is one of 5 public botanical gardens on the island of Oahu. It is part of the Honolulu Botanical Gardens system and is the oldest garden in Hawaii. In 1993, it was placed on the National Registry of Historic Places. This garden abounds with native and non-native tree and plant species, including tropical almonds, coconut and macadamia nut trees, breadfruit trees, and one of the most varied palm tree displays located in the entire Pacific. Egrets, red-crested cardinals, and waxbills are among the many bird species you can see enjoying the fauna of the garden grounds. The garden itself stands on the land originally leased to Dr. Wilhelm Hillebrand in 1853, a botanist on the island of Oahu from 1851 to 1871. Dr. Hillebrand also served as physician to Kamehameha IV and Queen Emma, and also as director of Queen's Hospital, founded in 1859. In the 1860s, Hillebrand traveled to Europe and Asia to recruit workers for the sugar plantations. In addition, he collected plant and animal specimens, including lychee, cinnamon, camphor, jackfruit, and mandarin orange. Hillebrand is also known for bringing the first plumeria tree back to Hawaii. In 1884, the garden property was sold to Thomas and Mary Foster. When Mrs. Foster died in 1930, the land was donated to the city of Honolulu, with the condition that the land be used as a public garden forever. The grounds house several memorials and public sculptures, including a replica of the Kamakura Daibutsu, memorializing 100 years of Japanese immigration to Hawaii, and a memorial stone at the site of the Japanese language school on Oahu. Whether you'd like to wander around the butterfly garden or stroll through the economic garden of spices, herbs, dyes, and beverage plants, Foster Botanical Garden is a great way to spend an afternoon. It is open daily from 9 to 4 with a daily tour at 10:30 a.m. What do you get when you combine efforts by the Army Corps of Engineers to control flood runoff in the dazzling windward side of Oahu near Kaneohe? You get Hoomaluheia Botanical Gardens, a 400-acre gardens with multiple sections of plant and tree species from around the world. Opened in 1982, this garden also includes a 32-acre lake set against the stunning backdrop of the heavily ridged 3,000-foot Ko'olau mountain range. This garden is second in my series of 5 public botanical gardens run by the county of Honolulu. In Hawaiian, Hoomaluheia means a place of peace and tranquility. These gardens can be described as one of the most magical places in Hawaii. Geographical regions of the world are represented in different sections of the garden. The regions represented here include the Philippines, Malaysia, India, Sri Lanka, Melanesia, Hawaii, and Africa, among others. The botanical gardens exist in an area that was once covered by a massive shale volcano. The top of the crater was thought to be off-centered over what is now Kaneohe Bay. In a single catastrophic failure, the largest landslide ever to have been discovered occurred, sending fragments of the volcano out over 100 miles north into the Pacific Ocean and generating a mind-boggling tsunami. Luckily, this happened well before humans are known to have been in the Pacific. At one of the overlooks in the gardens, a map shows what the volcano used to look like, and the remnants of that volcano that still stand on the island. This garden has a fabulous visitor center and provides a wealth of leisure and educational activities, including drawing and painting, camping, walking, hiking, catch and release fishing, a meeting room, and an art gallery. The garden area has over 4 miles of walking trails. As with the other gardens in the Honolulu Botanical Gardens system, spaces are also available to rent for weddings or photo shoots. It's open daily from 9 to 4 except for Christmas and New Year's. Admission is free. Some of the plants that can be seen here include heliconias, birds of paradise, lilies, anthurium, orchids, and bromeliads. You can also expect to see allspice trees, banana trees, cacao trees, acai palms, rubber trees, and monkey pod trees, among many, many others. Pack a bag and bring a picnic. Surround yourself in the magic of the windward side of the Ko'olau Mountains. The last of the 5 gardens operated by the County of Honolulu, Koko Crater Botanical Garden is arguably the most unique, as it resides solely within Koko Crater, a volcano formed about 50,000 years ago during the Honolulu volcanic stage of volcanism on Oahu. In 1958, this 200-acre crater was dedicated as a botanical garden. The garden focuses its efforts on the cultivation of rare and endangered drylands plants. The garden uses xeriscape concepts to transform the garden into a place where plants suitable to desert-like conditions can flourish. The 7 principles of xeriscape gardening are water conservation, soil improvement, turf usage, use of native plants, mulch, irrigation, and maintenance. Included in the garden's displays are dryland palms, rare plants from Hawaii, the Americas, Africa, and Madagascar. It also boasts possibly the most extensive plumeria and bougainvillea grove on Oahu. If you take the 2-mile loop around the garden, you will likely pass by groves of baobabs, myrrh, sausage trees, willy-willy, and Persia cactus. Other notable groves in the gardens are the hibiscus, gardenia, ficus, cycads, coral trees, and desert roses. Koko Crater is technically a tuff cone volcano and has a tilted summit similar to Diamond Head, Punchbowl Crater, and Hanauma Bay, due to its formation and the presence of trade winds. The ash that formed this volcano, as opposed to lava, occurred because of contact of cool seawater with a hot magma. The tuff that was produced is essentially a very fine ash and settled in layers into a sedimentary rock forming the crater. The minerals contained in the crater include olivine, iron, and magnesium. To contrast this, the mainland volcanoes, including the stratovolcanoes, generate silicates, feldspar, aluminum, and potassium. It's located at 7491 Kokanani Street in Honolulu, open every day from sunrise to sunset, except Christmas and New Year's. Admission is free. The County of Honolulu operates 5 botanical gardens on the island of Oahu. These gardens are Foster, Liliuokalani, Hoomaluheia, Wahiawa, and Koko Crater. Indeed, when I was researching this topic, I counted at least 18 botanical gardens just on the island of Oahu. I made an effort to go to as many as I could over the past year, visiting 13 of these gardens, which I plan to present over a period of several weeks. I was not able to visit Senator Fong Gardens, as they closed during COVID and have not reopened as of late 2024, except for special groups. What's a great way to escape the heat on Oahu with the family? By exploring Wahiawa Botanical Gardens in central Oahu. This is the last of 5 public botanical gardens managed by the County of Honolulu. Wahiawa Botanical Gardens is a 27-acre garden cradled between the Ko'olau and the towering Waianae mountain ranges in central Oahu. The gardens include a forested ravine and date back to the 1920s, when it was used by sugar planters and as an experimental arboretum. These gardens are situated on a 1,000-foot plateau and are often much cooler than Honolulu and the leeward side, and provide a welcome respite to summer heat. You are likely to find yourself here strolling among plants that thrive in a cooler rainforest environment. The labeled trails take you far away from the roadway so that all you end up hearing are the birds and the wind tickling the leaves of some of the trees. Some of these plant varieties include native Hawaiian plants, palms, aroids, heliconias, gingers, tree ferns, and epiphytes. The gardens is also a home to a bevy of exciting tree life, including the jacaranda, eucalyptus, bamboo groves, native ohia, banana, and the ubiquitous banyan trees, among many others. You will also likely see examples of some spices like cinnamon, allspice, or chickpea. The gardens also has groves of Arabian coffee, candle, and calabash trees. Some of the bird species that call the garden home include Brazilian cardinals, egrets, Pacific golden plovers, Shama thrush, waxbills, and zebra doves. So on any of the hot Oahu summer days, bring your family or friends and get yourself to the gardens, and wander among the varied gardens in this cool rainforest zone. The gardens can be found at 1396 California Avenue in Wahiawa. They are open every day from 9 to 4 except Christmas and New Year's Day. Guided tours offered by request. Admission is free. Who says that you have to spend a lot of money to enjoy the beauty of the island of Oahu? Just north of Foster Botanical Gardens in Honolulu lies the 7.5-acre Liliuokalani Botanical Gardens. These gardens represent the favorite picnic grounds of the famed Queen Liliuokalani, the last reigning monarch of Hawaii. The Queen gave these gardens to the city of Honolulu. Alongside the gardens flows the gentle Waikahalulu waterfall. A short trail meanders between banyan trees, kukui, monkey pods, bromeliads, willy-willy, and royal palms, among many other varieties. Come here any day except for Christmas and New Year's and enjoy a picnic in the same area that Queen Liliuokalani enjoyed over 120 years ago. This park is also wheelchair-friendly. The gardens are located at 128 North Kuwakini Street and are open daily from 7 to 5. Admission is free. Daniel K. Inouye International Airport offers travelers a pleasant break from their travels at several garden sites. The Chinese, Hawaiian, and Japanese gardens were designed by Richard C. Tong in 1962 when Daniel K. Inouye International Airport was being built. The C.B. Lansing Garden was constructed in 1995 when Terminal 1 was built. It is named in memory of Clarabelle Lansing, Chief Aloha Airlines flight attendant who died in the line of duty on April 28, 1988. The cultural gardens display the influence of the Hawaiian, Chinese, and Japanese heritage upon island living in the state of Hawaii. Pathways, bridges, and stepping stones connect the three gardens. Waterways flow among these garden ponds and lakes to symbolize the intermingling of cultures in Hawaii. Sculptures from various artists may also be found in the gardens. I'd like to introduce you to the Leahi Millennium Peace Garden, located at the entrance to Diamond Head Crater. The garden itself was planted initially in 1999 by 750 youth from 103 countries during the Millennium Young People's Congress. The garden was meant to demonstrate the principles of environmental sustainability and world peace. Currently, the garden appears to be maintained by groups of volunteers. Oftentimes, people describe the garden as zen-like, shady, and green. The garden itself is a good diversion on the way to or from a hike in the Diamond Head Crater. The park is open every day from 9:30 to 10. Admission is free. Located behind Thomas Jefferson Hall at the University of Hawaii in Manoa is the East-West Center Japanese Gardens. There is perhaps no better garden on Oahu that represents an understanding between different nations. To reinforce the idea of community between nations, in this garden you will find native plants and foreign plants living side by side. The creation of the garden was a cooperative effort between 22 Japanese businesses and involved specialists from Asia, the Pacific, and the United States. Built in 1963, it was designed by famed landscape architect Kenzo Ogata and formally presented to the center by Taizo Ishizaka, president of the Federation of Economic Organizations of Tokyo. During a trip to Hawaii in 1964, the Prince and Princess of Japan blessed the garden during a traditional hold and release ceremony. The royal couple also planted a coral shower tree along the pathway. In 1994, the now Emperor and Empress returned to view the garden they had blessed 30 years before. The garden is abundant with symbolism, from the meandering stream to its Japanese carp. The stream has 3 levels, and much as a river that begins in the mountains, it flows through the plains and slows as it reaches the sea. According to Japanese tradition, this symbolizes life, which begins as a fast-moving turmoil, steadies in adulthood, and slows to a more tranquil, majestic scene of citizenship. The water's calm surface is often ruffled by the colorful carp, which is a symbol of valor because it fights its way upstream with persistence. Short cement posts seen in and near the stream represent remains of a bridge. The round stones represent shoals where the former bridge had been washed out. All the large stones with moss were collected in Hawaii and properly placed. Near the highest waterfall is a 9-tiered stone pagoda, a haven in the mountains. Along the stream are 2 stone lanterns. One is a traveler's lantern, which has illuminated the way for many Japanese people, and is now supposed to light the garden entrance. It is a gift of Kyoto landscape gardener Hakuto Inouye. The other is a snow-reflecting lantern. Overlooking the garden is a Japanese tea house, where traditional tea ceremonies are held. The gardens are open every day from 7 to 6. Admission is free. Did you know that the University of Hawaii Manoa houses and maintains a 194-acre botanical garden with over 5,600 types of tropical plant and tree species? The Lyon Arboretum is a public botanical garden with a special emphasis on trees. The garden sees about 50,000 visitors every year who come to explore the trails, participate in community classes, volunteer, or conduct research. Located between 450 to 850 feet, the temperature here is slightly cooler than the Waikiki area to itself. The garden is in a zone of tropical rainforest with an average annual rainfall of 13 feet. Previously, this land had been used as a sugar plantation. This, in combination with alteration of the forest by Hawaiian farmers, had a major impact on the native forest of the area. In addition, free-ranging cattle ate their way up into the valley, further changing the nature and quality of this area. Without heavy forest cover, rainwater flowed directly to the ocean instead of recharging the groundwater table, which is the primary source of drinking water in Hawaii. This loss of water was a special concern to the Hawaii Sugar Planters Association, as sugar demands copious amounts of water to grow. A study completed by Dr. Harold Lyon concluded that healthy forests should be preserved, that damaged native forests were unable to recover on their own, and that damaged watersheds could be restored with introduced plants. In 1918, the Sugar Association came to an agreement with a landowner to purchase 124 acres in Upper Manoa Valley. This land would serve as a test site to evaluate trees that could be used to reforest the islands. This test site was the predecessor of the Lyon Arboretum, and planting began full scale in 1920. Planting was completed in 1945, and research objectives had been completed. Dr. Lyon saw an opportunity to provide this land as a botanical garden for the state of Hawaii. The land was sold to the University of Manoa for $1, and Dr. Lyon used his own money to fund operations at the garden. After his death, the garden was renamed the Lyon Arboretum. Up until 1972, the garden was used as a research station and closed to the public. After this, the idea of community support and fundraising grew, and outreach programs were developed which included adult and children's education, internships, and a guide program. In addition, plant sales helped to generate revenue for the gardens, and other events helped to bring in more public to the garden space. Various theme gardens were established, including the Bernice Krause Hawaiian Ethnobotany Garden, the Herb Garden, the Economic Section, the Palm Section, and the Hawaiian Garden. The garden itself was becoming a living museum. Indeed, researchers from around the world have taken advantage of the large living collections, especially the palms, heliconias, gingers, and native Hawaiian plants. Other researchers have studied stream life, birds, insects, climate, soils, and hydrology. Horticulturists here have developed new varieties of rhododendron, gingers, calathea, hibiscus, and alocasia. The Arboretum has evaluated and released over 180 plant introductions to the nurseries and the public. In recent years, an average of 1,500 adults have attended adult classes here, and over 10,000 schoolchildren and teachers visit using a STEM curriculum specifically designed for the garden. Recently, several ancient taro growing fields were reopened. Wood harvested from the grounds has been used to create traditional canoes, tools, and other cultural resources. Throughout its history, the Arboretum has worked to bring beauty, knowledge, and an appreciation of nature to its many audiences. Harold Lyon's words that Honolulu can have a botanical garden are still true today. What he said was, "Here then is a golden opportunity to build in Upper Manoa Valley a vast botanical garden of native and introduced plants, and at the same time carry through a project in water conservation that will provide immense value to Honolulu. The garden is open Monday through Friday from 9 to 3 and is closed weekends. Reservations are required. Donations are suggested." Did you know that you can visit the actual monkey pod tree that Hitachi has used as their corporate symbol since 1973? Located just off Highway 201 near Tripler Hospital is Moanalua Gardens, a 24-acre private gardens in Honolulu. The Hitachi tree is a classic umbrella-shaped monkey pod tree located just to the right after you enter the park. The tree itself is massive, with a height of 82 feet and 141 feet wide, occupying just over a third of an acre. It represents the Hitachi Group's unified stance to deliver innovations for a better future and to inspire the world. It has been featured in Hitachi commercials in Japan for over 2 decades. The tree has been registered as an exceptional tree by the City and County of Honolulu and cannot be removed or destroyed without City Council approval. Hitachi hopes the Hitachi tree will become a familiar tree worldwide and is committed to taking care of these beautiful gardens as a recreational venue and a place of relaxation for all people to enjoy. There are at least 2 other massive monkey pod trees here in the park. Monkey pod trees are originally from Central and South America and are usually planted in parks due to their wide area of shade. In fact, you could set a blanket up under the tree and never be in the sun all day. Its name in Japanese is America Nimu, which means American silk tree. The leaves of the monkey pod look similar to a fern, and they close in the afternoon and open at sunrise. Moanalua Gardens is now supported by the Hitachi Group and has trees over 100 years old. At the western end of the garden is a summer cottage erected by Prince Lot Kapuiwa, who later became King Kamehameha V. It was built during the 1850s. The cottage has 3 separate units: a kitchen, a living room, and an entertainment unit. The units are connected by a system of roofed porches. Princess Bernice Puahi Bishop willed the cottage with the rest of the Ahu Pua'a to the businessman Samuel Damon, which he passed away in 1884. Damon renovated the cottage and lived there for a period of time. It was moved to the current location in the gardens in 1960. Today, the gardens also houses a Japanese treehouse which currently serves as the gift shop, as well as a Chinese hall and a bridge and koi pond. Future plans for the park include reconstructing a hale pili, which is a traditional Hawaiian thatched house, adding more endemic Hawaiian species to the property, creating an educational branch for the enjoyment of the keiki, and launching a docent program to enhance the visitor's experience. The park is open daily from 8:30 to 4. Admission is $10 for adults and $7 for kids 6 through 12. Located at the intersection of Montserrat and Pali Avenue lies the small Queen Kapiolani Garden. The garden itself is within the larger 133-acre Kapiolani Park. The park was created when King David Kalakaua donated the land in 1877 in honor of his wife, Queen Kapiolani. The garden and park opened officially in 1972. Several walking paths wind around and through the gardens, which feature beautiful flowers like the rare Liliuokalani roses and the official Hawaiian flower, the hibiscus. Flowers from Hawaii and other parts of the world are also found here, such as lilies, coffee, verbena, and ficus trees. Although the garden is small, it is a short walk from Waikiki and close to some cafe gems along Montserrat Avenue as well as Kapahulu Avenue, and would be a nice addition to a morning plan. The park itself is open every day from 5 through midnight. Admission is free. Situated on the north shore of Oahu, just east of Haleiwa, lies Waimea Valley, one of the most sacred places in the entire island chain of Hawaii. Since ancient times, this valley has been favored by the Ali'i, or royal class of Hawaiian society. Many generations of kahuna nui, or high priests, have called this valley home. And today, Waimea Valley is a vahipana, which is a storied place, deeply rooted in Hawaiian history and culture. Waimea Valley is Oahu's last intact ahu pu'aha, which is a traditional Hawaiian land division extending from the mountains to the ocean. Based on carbon dating of coral found in one of the temples of the valley, the first known occupants came to the valley over 1,000 years ago. The ancient Hawaiian chiefs or priests lived in a compound called a kauhale, or eating house complex. Instead of living in a house with many rooms under one roof, the ancient Hawaiians lived in a complex with each room built as a separate structure. Hawaiian hales, or houses, were made of natural building materials like wood, grass, and coconut fibers. The hale here at the gardens have been carefully reconstructed using traditional techniques. Waimea, translated roughly, means reddish water because of the red erosion materials deposited into the river after heavy rains. This material can be seen in the ocean from the air in modern times. Waimea Valley was once an agricultural mecca. An extensive network of terraces, known as lo'i, and walls were built into hillsides, where water flowed down naturally from higher elevations and enabled crops to flourish. Many examples of this type of terrace can be seen in the valley. Kalo, or taro, is a staple crop for Hawaiian people, and was once cultivated in large amounts here. Taro is a starchy, potato-like vegetable rich in nutrients, and grows well in the irrigated lo'i. Kalo can be eaten in many ways, but traditionally it was boiled or steamed and mashed into a substance now called poi, which is also a staple of the Hawaiian diet. Pineapples, sugarcane, and yucca were also grown in the valley in the early 1900s. Over the years, the valley had been converted both into a military installation and a privately owned theme park. Today, the park is owned by a nonprofit organization. At the end of the main walking trail and numerous garden side trails lies the Wailele, or waterfall. The waterfall itself is 40 feet tall and is very sacred to the Hawaiian people. The waterfall receives its water from the Kamanunui stream, which receives its water from the rain in the Ko'olau mountain range. The name of the waterfall changes depending on its rate of flow. When it is flowing lightly, it is called Waihee, which means trickling water. When it is flowing heavily, it is called Waihi, or purging water. To the Hawaiians, fresh water in the form of rivers, streams, springs, and ponds represents life, purity, and health. Malama I Kawai, which means to care for the water, is an important creed by which Hawaiians have lived for many centuries. The botanical gardens contain over 1,000 genera and more than 200 plant families from Hawaii and around the world. Many gardens display the different flora, including areas from Japan, Madagascar, Sri Lanka, Central and South America, Fiji, Guam, Hawaii, and Malaysia. The diversity at the gardens originated with Keith Williams, the botanical director from 1973 to 1998, who championed the approach of conservation through cultivation. He worked to preserve Hawaii's culture through the rarest plants from Hawaii's drylands forests, and pushed for the conservation of named Hawaiian heirloom food crops. The gardens also has a section of the only known palms that predated the Polynesians bringing coconuts to the island. Of some of the many plants you may see here include the yellow hibiscus, which is the official state flower of Hawaii, birds of paradise, gardenias, ginger, begonias, and heliconias. While here, look for the official flower of Oahu, the Ilima flower, which is a type of hibiscus. The trees you can expect to see here include koa, bananas, banyan, monkey pods, and plumeria. The small, highly endangered aleula, or Hawaiian gallinule, also resides here, as well as red-crested cardinals, waxbills, Java sparrows, peacocks, and red-billed leothrics. You are likely to see peafowls here, the male version known as a peacock, and the female is known as a peahen. Only an hour drive from Honolulu, this garden has a snack bar, a sit-down restaurant, and coffee shop for your enjoyment.